So Jesus is treading into some dangerous waters today. I mean, who would ask these questions? Who do people say that I am? Are you serious? Who wants that kind of feedback? What are people saying about me? No way. Growing up in rural, conservative eastern North Carolina, I'm particularly triggered by this question. Come on, me? Piano lessons? Art lessons? I had a penchant for fashion. All of the ladies at Belt Tyler Department Store knew me by name. My best friend in the 80s were girls with big bangs, and I longed to use their hairspray. And I think I was among the first to wear pink to junior high. What are people saying about me? I didn't dare ask. It all came to a head one weekend after college. I came home for a standing Labor Day tradition in our family for the opening of dove season. So there were a lot of white men with guns grilling out. Don't know what I was thinking, but I rolled in, long hair, earring, art major, and I think I may have had on a leather vest. I did not receive the warmest welcome. Who do people think that I am? Well, those men were not afraid to let me know who I was and what they thought. So I was crushed and devastated, and I remember going home to my mother and saying, "You all don't know me anymore." And I think I heard her heart break in two. Identity. Is identity at the heart of our gospel today? Is identity at the heart of what the church is about? Is identity at the heart of what Jesus is about? Well, I think so. Today, I think Jesus chooses to go there to help us all explore our identity. Who do people say that I am? Well, this was the careful question, the safe question, because Jesus keeps it very vague and general. What are people saying out there about me? Again, who would put it out there? Well, Jesus does. A good leader does. Our world is all about surveys these days. And the disciples give a solid answer. Perfectly respectable answer. Oh, Jesus, they think you're awesome. Right up there with one of the prophets, Elijah, John the Baptist, Jeremiah, someone major, an influencer, the influencer. But this doesn't ring true for Jesus because it's not real. It's not him. So he digs deeper and he asks not an unspecific question. Okay, then. Thanks. Now, who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? You can almost hear the needle slip off the record. The disciples' minds shift into overdrive. Me? What do I think? There's a move here from vagaries to specifics. Who do you say that I am? Dang, Jesus, can't you ever just give us a pass? Well, I love this situation because no matter how uncomfortable it makes us, I think Jesus is really pressing something important. Let's get out of the world of what other people think and into the world of what really matters to you. Here, I think Jesus is moving his disciples, his church, and all of us away from group think. Because Jesus is not concerned with group think. Jesus is concerned with individual hearts, individual relationships. What do you think? And so Peter chimes in. He gives the $100 million answer. You are the Messiah. Ding, 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 accurate. And he's given the keys to the heavenly station wagon, a new name. He's made the leader of the church and given a future position at the pearly gates. But underneath Peter's answer is something different, something more. It's not just about his right answer. Peter has become real. Peter has become clearer about his identity. I mean, just remember, Peter hasn't always been the sharpest tool in the tool shed. He's the first to raise his hand and seek clarity. He tries to walk on the water. He sinks. He's not going to do that great when he is asked about knowing Jesus in the trial. I don't know the guy. Yet, Peter is there. He's real, he's honest, and he's authentic. So when Jesus says to them, "Who do you say that I am?" Peter can answer because he's been around Jesus. He can legitimately, intimately say, "I know this guy. He's the one who gave me a chance, and for about 2 seconds I walked on water." He is the one who sets the stage for what matters. And Peter is beginning to see that what matters to Jesus should matter to him, and who matters to Jesus should matter to him. So Peter doesn't respond, "You're the Messiah," because he's looking for the best grade in class. He responds because he's been in the presence of a Jesus who is allowing life to unfold differently. And Peter is getting it. And he becomes one of the most powerful people in the world, someone upon which the church will be built and who will be asked to fight back against the forces of hell. So today, Jesus isn't interested in right answers. Jesus is interested in authentic identity. Failed, slipped up, flawed, ego turned humble, shamed, the comebacks, the authentic and the genuine. And that's why I love that Jesus starts with the broad, maybe unimportant question of, "Who do people say that I am?" Because I wonder if Jesus really cares. Or maybe Jesus draws from the recovery community that says, "What other people think about me is none of my business." But he does care about what his people think, his disciples, the people he's been hanging out with. And he asks, "What do you think about me?" Eventually, I did find my people around whom I could be and build myself. My hair didn't define me, my clothes didn't define me, my earrings didn't define me, my love for beauty didn't define me. My crying at beautiful music didn't define me. My being overtaken by the colors of water and the sun didn't define me. I was defined by something else. Hopefully, a commitment to making the church an affirming and creative space. A place that's strong enough to prevail against the hellish assaults of prejudice, ignorance, and sheer stupidity. Perhaps this is what defines me, a longing for community and closeness. I turn here to the author of the summer book read that we'll discuss next week, Rachel Held Evans. Who does she say Jesus is? Well, she puts it right out there. She says that Jesus is the living, breathing will of God. Jesus is the living, breathing will of God. And it looks like compassion for the poor, esteem for women, healing for the sick, solidarity with the suffering. It looks like breaking bread with outcasts and embracing the vulnerable and choosing forgiveness over retribution. It looks like cooking breakfast for the friend who betrayed you. So I'm not sure that many in the world would embrace this particular picture of God, but I have given my life to it. I've been a priest for 27 years, and as of last Tuesday, I've been your rector for 7 years. And I have had my fair share of sleepless nights fretting over what people think about me. And I've learned not to prop myself up against that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know how it is. But I've come to learn that when we claim as important what Jesus claims as important, our identity will take care of itself. And when we claim as important, the people claim as important, our identity will follow suit. So I'm still a little leery of those get-togethers. And there are clusters and spaces that still make me feel a little unsafe, which is why it's important for us to create spaces like this, St. Paul's. It's important to have spaces in which we can find our people, spaces in which others see you as God sees you. That's what community is about. That's what church is about. And this is our story. The story that we're all invited to tell. God's story of helping people be and become. We come here after a long week of being told who we ought to be. And we come to this space of being and believing who we actually are. Jesus says to each of us, "Who do you say that I am?" Do you have the words to express who Jesus is? Maybe, maybe not. We'll keep working on it. But the important thing today, right now, right here, is not that you have the words to claim Jesus. The important thing is that Jesus has the words to claim you. And those words are mine, always, always, forever and ever. Amen.